There was pressure once, subtle yet persistent, to hurry, to define everything quickly, to announce milestones as proof of progress. But somewhere along the journey, we decided not to sprint toward expectation that were never truly ours. We chose instead to let our life unfold at a sustainable pace, to build connection deliberately rather than impulsively, sitting together on a quiet evening walk. Hands loosely intertwined, we spoke about how different this feels from relationships of the past, how there is less anxiety about where we stand and more clarity about why we stand together. We are not racing to impress anyone, not measuring our timeline against others. We are constructing something that fits us specifically, something shaped by shared values rather than external pressure. In our 30s, we understand the cost of rushing into commitments before readiness. We have seen how haste can fracture foundations, and so we move thoughtfully, celebrating progress without forcing it, finding joy in gradual alignment. Happiness here is not explosive but sustainable. It is found in steady planning, in conversation about finances and dreams that feel collaborative rather than stressful, in evenings spent reviewing options without fear of disagreement. As we imagine the years ahead, there is calm rather than urgency, because we trust the rhythm we have chosen. The life we are building is not dramatic, not designed for spectacle. It is intentional, rooted in patience and mutual respect. And as we pause beneath streetlights glowing softly against the night sky, I feel grateful that we did not rush into this chapter, that we allowed ourselves the time necessary to arrive here, fully prepared, fully aware, fully committed to growing side by side at a pace that honors both our hearts and our history. Snow falls without urgency beyond tall arch windows, each flake descending in patient silence before dissolving into soft white layers along stone steps.
Inside the old library, warmth lingers between towering shelves lined with stories bound in faded leather and gold lettering. The air carries the scent of paper and time, hushed and reverent, and I sit at a wooden table
gently over open pages. Outside, the world is muted and blurred by wind's steady hand, but here everything feels defined and deliberate. You sit across from me, turning pages slowly, your expression illuminated by amber glow that softens every contour. Words are unnecessary in this space. The quiet itself becomes a shared language. Snow thickens beyond the glass, coating rooftops and branches in pale stillness. Yet inside there is warmth shaped not by heat alone, but by presence. The ticking of a distant clock marks time with calm certainty. Each second laid upon the next, like chapters in an unfolding narrative. I realize that love can resemble this winter refuge, steady, thoughtful, resilient against cold. It thrives not through spectacle, but through patience, through silent understanding that deepens with every passing page. I know that even beyond these walls, even beneath endless snowfall, the quiet strength between us will endure, like stories preserved carefully through seasons. The soft spring horizon stretches endlessly ahead, like a promise that doesn't need to be spoken. And I feel something shift inside me as I step into this new space, where everything seems lighter, where even my thoughts begin to slow down and settle into something calmer, something clearer. And I begin to notice how different the world feels when I'm not trying to control every outcome, when I allow things to unfold naturally, like the way the season changes without force, without resistance, simply becoming what it's meant to be. And there's a kind of quiet joy in that, knowing that not everything needs to be planned or understood to be real. And I feel that joy in the air, in the warmth that lingers, just enough to remind me that something new has begun. And I realize how much I've been holding our breath, holding on to things that no longer matter, how much I've been carrying without needing to. And as I let go, even just a little, everything starts to feel different, lighter, easier, and happiness becomes something simple again. Something I can find in the way the sky opens wide, in the way the light touches everything with the same gentle consistency, in the way each moment feels like an invitation rather than a challenge. And I begin to trust that this feeling will stay with me, not in a fixed or permanent way, but in a way that evolves, that grows, that continues to change just as I do. And I no longer feel the need to hold on to a single version of what happiness should look like, because I can see now that it exists in many forms, in many moments, in ways I might not always expect but can always feel. And as I move forward, I carry this quiet understanding with me, this sense that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. Even if I don't fully see it yet, even if I don't fully understand it, and that is enough, more than enough. Something that allows me to keep going without fear, without doubt, with only the gentle certainty that this horizon will continue to expand, to open, to welcome whatever comes next. Oh, oh. Yeah. Oh, 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 oh.
Floating, spring silence lingers in the spaces between everything I notice, like a quiet breath the world is taking before it fully awakens. And I find myself drawn into that stillness, into the way everything feels suspended for just a moment longer than expected. And there's something comforting about that pause, something that allows me to exist without rushing, without needing to move forward too quickly. And I begin to understand how rare it is to experience a moment like this, a moment where nothing is demanding attention, yet everything feels alive. And I let myself stay there, letting the silence unfold without trying to fill it, without trying to define it, just allowing it to be what it is. And I notice how even the smallest details begin to stand out, the way the air carries a subtle warmth, the way the light softens everything it touches, the way time itself seems to slow just enough for me to catch up with it. And happiness begins to emerge quietly from within, not as something sudden or overwhelming, but as something steady, something that grows the more I allow myself to feel it. And I realize that I don't need to chase anything to experience this. I don't need to search for something more, because everything I need is already here, already part of this moment, already part of me. And I begin to trust that this feeling will remain, even as things change, even as time continues to move forward, because it isn't tied to anything temporary. It's something deeper, something that stays with me no matter where I go. And I carry that understanding with me as I move through the day, as I step forward into whatever comes next, knowing that I can always return to this quiet space, this gentle silence that holds everything I need, everything I was searching for without even realizing it.
Blooming quiet light spreads across the edges of a new morning, where the air feels softer than yesterday, and everything seems to move with a kind of gentle intention. And I find myself standing still just to feel it longer, just to understand how something so simple can hold so much warmth. And the world no longer feels rushed or distant, but close, like something I can finally reach without hesitation. And there's a quiet happiness growing inside me, not loud, overwhelming, but steady, like the way sunlight slowly fills a room without asking permission. And I notice how even the smallest things begin to matter. The way the breeze carries something fresh and unknown, the way the sky seems wider, the way time itself feels less urgent and more open. And I realize that this feeling isn't something I have to chase. It's already here, already part of this moment, already part of me. Yeah. And I don't need to understand where it will lead or how long it will stay, because right now it feels complete, it feels enough. And I begin to trust that happiness doesn't always arrive in grand ways. Sometimes it simply appears in the quiet unfolding of a new season, in the way everything begins again without needing to explain itself. And I find comfort in that, in the idea that not everything needs to be defined or held on to tightly. Some things are meant to be experienced as they are, freely, gently, without fear of losing them. And as I walk forward, I carry this softness with me, this quiet light that continues to grow with every step, reminding me that even the simplest moment can become something meaningful when I allow myself to feel them fully. And I know that whatever comes next will not take this away, because it was never something temporary. It was something that had been awaiting patiently to be noticed, to be felt, to be lived. And now that I found it, I won't rush past it again. I'll stay, I'll breathe, I'll live in its own time, in its own way, endlessly, quietly, beautifully. Yeah. Gentle morning bloom rises slowly with the first light of day, unfolding in a way that feels almost unnoticeable at first, but becomes undeniable as time passes. And I find myself drawn into that quiet transformation, into the way everything seems to begin again without needing to erase what came before. And I realize how much beauty there is in that, in the idea that change doesn't have to be sudden or overwhelming to be meaningful. It can be soft, it can be gradual, it can be something that grows quiet until one day it becomes everything. And I feel that within me, a shift that doesn't demand attention, but changes the way I see everything, the way I move, the way I breathe. And happiness becomes something that doesn't depend on anything outside of this moment, something that exists simply because I am here, because I am allowing myself to feel what is present instead of chasing what is not. And I begin to understand that this is what it means to truly experience something, to be fully in it without needing to hold on to it, without needing to to define it, just letting it exist as it is. And I notice how even the smallest details begin to feel significant. The way the light moves across the ground, the way the air carries a sense of renewal, the way everything feels connected in a way I hadn't noticed before. And I realized that this feeling isn't something rare or unreachable. It's something that has always been here, something that I simply hadn't taken the time to see. And now that I have, I don't want to lose it, not by holding on to it too tightly, but by continuing to move with it, to grow with it, to let it become part of everything I do. And I know that even when this moment passes, even when the day changes and the season moves forward, this feeling will remain, not in the exact same form, but in a way that continues to evolve, to adapt, to stay alive within me. And that is what makes it real, what makes it lasting, what makes it something I can carry with me no matter where I go. Something that began as a quiet bloom and became something I will never forget, something that I will continue to grow. Long after this morning fades in my memory.
Pedal drifting, time moves slowly through the quiet spaces of a changing day. And I watch how everything feels slightly different, like the world has softened its edges just enough to let something new begin. And I don't rush to understand it, I just stay letting the moment unfold without interruption. And there's something peaceful about not needing answers, about allowing things to exist without forcing them into meaning. And I notice how even the smallest changes carry weight, the way the air feels lighter, the way the sky stretches further than before, the way each step feels less like a destination and more like a part of something ongoing. And I begin to feel a quiet sense of happiness that doesn't demand attention, that doesn't need to be held or defined. It simply stays like something that belongs here, something that has always been part of the season of becoming. And I realize that not everything needs to be understood to be meaningful. Sometimes it's enough to feel it, to experience it as it is, without trying to shape it into something familiar. And as I walk forward, I carry this softness with me, this gentle awareness that everything is shifting in ways I can't fully see, but can still feel. And I begin to trust that these changes are not random, that they are leading somewhere, even if I don't know where yet. And that uncertainty no longer feels heavy, it feels open, like a space filled with possibility rather than doubt. And I don't try to hold on to this moment, I let it pass through me. Real will continue, and in that quiet understanding I find something steady, something that doesn't fade even as everything else changes. Something that stays with me long after the petals have drifted away.
You're the new season. Whisper moves softly through everything I notice. Like a quiet voice reminding me that change doesn't have to be loud to be real. That transformation can happen in the smallest ways. In the subtle shifts I almost overlook, and I begin to pay attention to those details, to the way everything feels slightly different, slightly renewed, like something has quietly begun without needing to announce itself. And I realize how often I've been waiting for something big to happen before allowing myself to feel happy, before allowing myself to believe that things are changing. And now I see that change has been happening all along, in ways I didn't recognize, in ways I didn't take the time to see. And there's something comforting in that, in knowing that I don't have to wait for a perfect moment to feel something real, that I don't have to chase something distant to experience something meaningful. And I begin to feel a quiet sense of gratitude for everything that is already here, for the way each moment holds something unique, something worth noticing, something worth feeling. And happiness becomes something that doesn't depend on the future or the past, something that exists fully in the present, in the way everything continues to unfold without needing to be forced. And I find myself trusting that process, trusting that things are moving in the right direction, even when I can't fully see it. And I begin to let go of the need to control every detail, to define every outcome, to understand every step. And instead I allow myself to simply experience, to move with the flow of this quiet change, this gentle transformation that continues to shape everything in ways I might not fully understand yet. And I realize that this is enough, more than enough, something that I can carry with me as I move forward, something that will continue to grow, to evolve, to become something even more meaningful with time. And I don't need to rush it, I don't need to force it, I just need to listen, to stay present, to allow this quiet whisper of a new season to guide me wherever it leads, knowing that wherever I end up, this feeling will remain steady, calm and real. Steady, calm and real.
First light awakening touches everything with the kind of softness that feels almost unreal, like the beginning of something that doesn't need to announce itself to be important. And I stand in that moment, letting it unfold without interruption, without expectation, just allowing it to be what it is. And I notice how everything feels slightly different, how even familiar things seem new again, like they've been waiting for the ship to reveal something I hadn't seen before. And I begin to feel a quiet sense of renewal, not sudden or overwhelming, but steady, like something that has been growing beneath the surface for a long time. And now it's finally reaching the light. And I don't rush it, I don't try to define it, I just let it happen, letting each moment build on the last, creating something I can't fully explain, but can deeply feel. And happiness
Sunlit wandering mind, sunlit wandering mind drifts gently through the open space of a quiet afternoon where everything feels slightly unreal, like a dream I don't want to wake from. And I let myself wander without direction, without needing to arrive anywhere, just moving through thoughts that feel lighter than before, thoughts that no longer carry the same weight or urgency. And I realize how rare it is to feel this kind of freedom, this ability to exist without constantly searching for something more. And I begin to notice how even the simplest things become meaningful when I allow myself to slow down, when I allow myself to see what's already here instead of chasing what isn't. And there's a kind of happiness in that, a quiet contentment that doesn't demand attention but stays steady and real. And I find comfort in the way everything seems to exist without effort, in the way the world continues to move without needing to be controlled. And I begin to trust that I don't have to have everything figured out to feel at peace, that it's okay to simply be here, to experience each moment as it comes without trying to shape it into something specific. And I notice how even uncertainty feels different now, less like something to fear and more like something to explore, something that holds possibility rather than doubt. And as I move through this quiet space, I carry that understanding with me, that not everything needs to be defined or understood to be meaningful. Some things are meant to be felt, to be lived, to be experienced in their own time. And I begin to see how much I've been missing by trying to rush through everything, by trying to control every outcome. And now that I've slowed down, now that I've allowed myself to wander, I find something I wasn't expecting, a sense of calm that feels deeper than anything I've known before, something that stays with me even as the day fades, something that reminds me I don't need to go anywhere to find what I'm looking for, because it's already here, already part of this moment, already part of me. Warmer air between us carries something unspoken, something that doesn't need words to be felt. And I notice how even silence becomes meaningful when it's shared, how every small moment seems to stretch just a little longer, like time itself is giving us space to exist without pressure. And I begin to understand that not everything needs to be filled, not every second needs to be explained. Sometimes it's enough to simply be here, to feel what is present without trying to change it. And there's a kind of comfort in that, in the way everything feels natural and forced, steady. And I realize how rare it is to experience something like this, something that doesn't overwhelm or demand attention, but stays quietly in the background, shaping everything without needing to be seen. And I find myself slowing down, noticing details I would have missed before, the way the light shifts across the day, the way the atmosphere changes without warning, the way even stillness can carry meaning and happiness begins begins to reveal itself in those small, almost invisible moments, in the way everything feels connected without needing to be defined. And I start to trust that this feeling doesn't need to be held on too tightly. It doesn't need to be protected from change. It can exist freely, evolving with time, growing into something deeper without losing what made it real in the first place. And as I move through this moment, I carry that understanding with me, that not everything needs to be understood to be real. Not everything needs to be named to be meaningful. Some things are meant to exist quietly, to be felt rather than explained. And in that quiet space between us, I find something lasting, something that continues even when nothing is said.
Light steps in April guide me forward through a day that feels softer than the ones before it. And I notice how everything seems to move with a quiet kind of grace, like nothing is being forced, like everything is unfolding exactly as it should. And I begin to follow that rhythm without thinking, without questioning, just letting each step lead naturally into the next. And there's something freeing about that, something that allows me to let go of the weight I didn't realize I was carrying. And I start to see how much easier everything feels when I'm not trying to control it, when I'm not trying to predict what comes next. And happiness begins to appear in those in-between moments, in the spaces when nothing special is happening yet, and everything feels meaningful. And I realize that I've been overlooking those moments for so long, always searching for something bigger, something more obvious. And now I see that what I've been looking for has been here all along, hidden in the quiet flow of everyday life, and the way each moment connects seamlessly to the next, creating something continuous, something that doesn't need to be broken into pieces to be understood. And I begin to trust that I don't need to rush toward anything. I don't need to force progress, I can simply move at my own pace, following the light steps that guide me forward. And as I do, I feel a sense of calm that I haven't known before, a quiet certainty that everything is unfolding in the way it's meant to, even if I don't fully understand it yet. And that is enough, more than enough, something that allows me to keep moving without fear, without doubt, with only the gentle awareness that each step I take is part of something larger, something that continues to grow with every passing moment. Petals over time fall gently across the path I walk, each one a quiet reminder that change doesn't have to be loud to be meaningful, that even the
that stays long after they've passed. And I find myself watching them drift without trying to catch them, without trying to hold on to something that was never meant to stay. And there's a kind of peace in that, in allowing things to move as they are, and trusting that what matters will remain even when everything else fades. And I begin to understand how much I've been trying to control what cannot be controlled, how much I've been holding on to moments that were always meant to pass. Now as I let go, I feel something shift within me, something lighter, something freer, and happiness begins to take on a new form. Not something I have to chase or protect, but something that exists naturally when I allow myself to be present. When I allow myself to experience each moment without needing to define it. And I notice how even the passing of time feels different now, less like something to fear and more like something to appreciate, something that adds depth rather than taking anything away. And I begin to trust that every moment has its place, that everything I experience becomes part of something larger, something that continues to shape me in ways I might not fully understand yet. And as I continue forward, I carry that understanding with me, that I don't need to hold on to everything to keep it, that I don't need to stop time to appreciate it. I just need to be here, fully present, fully aware, allowing everything to unfold as it will. And in that quiet acceptance, I find something lasting, something that remains even as the petals fall, even as time continues to move, something that stays with me no matter where I go, something that feels like a gentle reminder that everything is exactly as it should be.
Vibing highway at dusk, the highway stretches endlessly ahead. Silver lines cutting through the deepening dusk as
The sky melts from amber into soft indigo. Headlights flicker alive in steady procession.
and distant mountains fade into silhouettes against a horizon that refuses to disappear entirely. Inside the car, there is a warmth that contrasts the cooling air. Beyond the glass, a quiet intimacy
shaped by emotion
and shared direction. Music hums gently from unseen speakers, blending with the rhythm of tides against asphalt, and the world outside transforms into a river of passing lights. You glance toward me with a half smile, illuminated by dashboard glow. And for a moment the entire journey feels less about destination and more about presence. There is something freeing about traveling at dusk, when day surrenders without resistance and night rises without hurry. The sky above seems
distant cities and uncertain plans.
About places neither of us has seen yet, both somehow recognize in imagination.
The road curves gently through darkening terrain, guiding us forward with quiet certainty. And I realize that love often mirrors this motion, steady, evolving, not always predictable, but anchored in trust. As darkness deepens and stars begin to puncture the sky, one by one,
I feel how even an endless highway can feel intimate when traveled together.
and somewhere between fading light and
First starlight, I understand that the journey itself is a promise,
luminous and constant beneath a
sky that always changes yet remains boundless.
Before dawn, the harbor rests in deep blue silence, boats rocking gently against quiet tides, as though still half dreaming. The sky carries a muted glow along the horizon, a faint silver seam that hints at morning without fully revealing it. Street lamps cast warm halos along wooden docks, their reflections trembling softly in dark water, and the world feels suspended between sleep and awakening. I stand near the edge where sea meets wood, breathing in the cool salt air that sharpens thought and steadies heartbeat. You join me with measured steps, your presence felt before spoken, and together we watch as the first hint of color begins to bloom across the sky. It starts subtly, barely visible, blush threading through gray, then grows with quiet confidence, expanding until darkness retreats without protest. The boats seem to stir as light strengthens, ropes tightening gently with the rhythm of rising tide. And I sense how transformation often begins unseen, gathering strength in silence before stepping fully into view. We speak softly about nothing and everything, words drifting like mist above water. And I realize that this hour belongs to honesty more than display. The harbor gradually brightens, revealing textures once hidden in shadow. Wood grain painted hulls, ripples spreading outward, and I feel the same clarity forming within us as the sun finally lifts above distant masts and pours warmth across the open water. I understand that dawn is not only a daily return of light, but a reminder that patience yields brilliance, and standing beside you in that loneliness awakening, I know that whatever tides may come or go, we have learned how to wait for the light together. Evening settles over the old stone bridge in hues of ember and copper. Autumn leaves drifting lazily through cooling air before gathering along the riverbank. Below the water reflects fading sunlight in trembling bands of gold, and lanterns along the walkway begin to glow softly, bridging day and night in warm succession. I walk beside you across the worn stone, footsteps echoing gently in the I think about how many stories this bridge has witnessed. Meetings, partings, promises carried across seasons. The sky deepens gradually into rose and violet clouds, dissolving into delicate streaks above distant rooftops. A breeze moves through bare branches, releasing the final leaves of the day in slow spirals. And I sense how transition carries its own beauty when embraced rather than resisted. You pause midway across the span, leaning against cool stone. Your expression illuminated by a lantern light that feels both nostalgic and new. We speak of time not as something lost, but as something layered, each moment resting quietly upon the last. The river flows steadily beneath us, reflecting stars that begin to appear in scattered brilliance. And I realize that constancy does not require stillness, only direction, as darkness gathers more fully and the bridge becomes a glowing path suspended above water. I understand that connection, like this crossing, carries us forward even as seasons shift. And beneath an autumn sky painted in quiet fire, I know that every step taken together becomes part of a larger journey, luminous and enduring beyond the fading of light. Gently over a quiet garden where dew clings to petals like scattered pearls, and sunlight filters through tender green leaves in trembling ribbons of gold. The air feels newly washed, touched by the faint sweetness of blooming flowers and distant sea breeze. And I walk along a narrow stone path that curves softly between color and shadow. Every step releases a subtle fragrance into the cool light, as though the earth itself is exhaling after a long, patient winter. You wait beneath an arch of climbing blossoms, your silhouette framed in soft pink and ivory, and the scene feels almost suspended, like a painting unfinished, yet already complete. Birds trace brief arcs across a pale blue sky, their wings catching brightness before vanishing beyond treetops. And I sense how beginnings often look exactly like this, fragile, luminous, and full of promise without demand. We speak quietly, careful not to disturb the fragile harmony blooming around us, and laughter rises like petals caught in warm currents of air. The garden seems alive with quiet affirmation. trembling with subtle motion, every blossom opening toward warmth without hesitation. I realize that love too follows this rhythm, not forced, not hurried, but unfolding naturally. When light and patience meet, as the sun climbs higher and color deepens around us, the path ahead feels less uncertain, less distant, standing there surrounded by living here. The storm has passed, leaving the coastline washed in silver calm, clouds parting slowly to reveal a sky still heavy with memory, but brightening with cautious hope.
Waves continue their restless rhythm against dark rocks, yet the air feels clear now, sharpened by rain and wind that have moved on without apology. At the edge of the cliff stands a solitary lighthouse. Its beam cutting steadily through lingering mist, unwavering despite the night that tested it. You stand beside me, watching sunlight thread through retreating clouds, illuminating patches of sea in sudden brilliance, and I realize how and I realize how strength often reveals itself, not in calm but in endurance. The lighthouse does not celebrate the storms, and it simply remains, its purpose unchanged by chaos. I feel something similar within us, tested perhaps, but not diminished. The sky gradually shifts from gray to pale blue, light expanding across the horizon with quiet determination. Seabirds return to open air, their wings slicing through fresh wind, and the coastline begins to breathe again. We speak of what was shaken and what remains steady, words shaped by reflection rather than fear. The beam of light continues its patient sweep across water, a reminder that guidance persists even when visibility fades. As the last fragments of cloud dissolve into open sky, I understand that love is not the absence of storms, but the courage to stand firm through them. And beneath the brightening expanse above the sea, I know that like the lighthouse, what we share has weathered darkness and emerged luminous, stronger for having endured.
Urban departure platform, the station breathes in metallic echoes in quiet anticipation. Morning light filtering through high glass ceilings and scattering across polished floors like fragments of something unfinished. Suitcases roll past in steady rhythm, footsteps overlapping without ever truly colliding. And I stand beneath the departure board, watching letters flicker and rearrange as if the future itself were being typed in real time.
The sky outside the wide windows is pale and restless, clouds drifting endless murmur overhead and patient repetition. Voices neutral and steady, yet beneath their routine cadence, my heartbeat feels louder than any speaker. There is a tension here that is not fear but awareness,
A realization that movement is inevitable, and that even love must sometimes trust distance to reveal its strength. We speak softly, choosing words with care, knowing that silence carries its own weight. In moments like this, outside, a train slides along steel tracks with quiet authority. Its reflection shimmering in tinted windows, and I sense how life continues whether we are ready or not.
Yet as the platform begins to fill and departure time edges closer, I notice something unwavering between us, a thread stronger than geography,
Brighter than uncertainty when the final call echoes across the hall and doors close with measured finality. I do not feel lost, but momentum, as if this parting is not an ending, but a widening of the There was pressure once, subtle yet persistent, to hurry, to define everything quickly, to announce milestones as proof of progress. But somewhere along the journey we decided not to sprint toward expectations that were never truly ours. We chose instead to let our life unfold at a sustainable pace, to build connection deliberately rather than impulsively. Sitting together on a quiet evening walk, hands loosely intertwined, we spoke about how different this feels from relationships of the past, how there is less anxiety about where we stand and more clarity about why we stand together. We are not racing to impress anyone, not measuring our timeline against others. We are constructing something that fits us specifically, something shaped by shared values rather than external pressure. In our 30s we understand the cost of rushing into commitments before readiness. We have seen how haste can fracture foundations, and so we move thoughtfully, celebrating progress without forcing it, finding joy in gradual alignment. Happiness here is not explosive but sustainable. It is found in steady planning, in conversations about finances and dreams that feel collaborative rather than stressful, in evenings spent reviewing options without fear of disagreement. As we imagine the years ahead, there is calm rather than urgency, because we trust the rhythm we have chosen. The life we are building is not dramatic, not designed for spectacle. It is intentional, rooted in patience and mutual respect. And as we pause beneath streetlights glowing softly against the night sky, I feel grateful that we did not rush into this chapter, that we allowed ourselves the time necessary to arrive here fully prepared, fully committed to growing side by side at a pace that honors both our hearts and our history. Ooh, the quiet confidence of staying. There is a particular kind of strength
that reveals itself not in dramatic declarations, but in consistency, in the choice to remain.
when circumstances grow complicated. We have both lived long enough to understand how easily people can walk away.
When novelty fades, how quickly excitement can be mistaken for depth.
Yet here we are, years into adulthood, choosing each other not because it is effortless, but because it is meaningful. I think about the ordinary evenings when we sit side by side,
Each focused on separate tasks, you answering emails, me reading something half finished, silence stretching comfortably between us without tension.
and I realize how rare that comfort is. Love in our 30s is less about proving devotion and more about demonstrating reliability.
About answering the call, about showing up at family gatherings, about remembering small preferences and honoring them without being asked.
We have seen enough of life to know that permanence is never guaranteed.
Yet we lean into stability anyway, not from fear, but from intention. When challenges arise, as they inevitably do,
We approach them as a team rather than opponents.
recognizing that unity requires humility.
That growth demands patience. There is romance in the steadiness.
In the way you reach for my hand in crowded places without hesitation. In the way you check in after difficult days without needing a reminder. Happiness here feels grounded, sustained by trust built slowly over time as we move forward through evolving responsibilities and shifting goals. I feel a quiet confidence in us, not because we are immune to change, but because we are willing to adapt together. And that willingness, that daily choice to stay present and engaged,
feels more profound than any fleeting intensity we once chased. Before the sun rises, the desert holds a silence so complete. It feels almost sacred, dunes stretching endlessly beneath a sky brushed in deep violet and fading indigo. The air is cool
and impossibly clear, carrying the faint scent of earth that has waited patiently through the long night. I stand on a ridge of sand, watching the first thin line of light appear at the horizon, delicate and unwavering. And I think about how love often begins the same way.
Quiet, almost unnoticed, yet destined to expand beyond doubt. You walk toward me with measured steps, footprints forming brief patterns before the wind gently reshapes them, reminding me how fragile and resilient moments
can be at once. The sky shifts gradually from lavender to pale gold, then to a brilliance that seems to set the entire landscape aflame. Without heat as sunlight spills over dunes, shadows retreat in graceful arcs, revealing textures hidden beneath darkness.
The vastness around us feels infinite, yet not lonely, because your presence anchors the horizon in something deeply human.
We speak softly, our voices carried by open space, and I sense how clarity emerges when distractions fall away.
The desert does not rush dawn, it receives it with calm acceptance. And I realize that connection thrives the same way.
Steadfast, patient, strengthened by
The quiet confidence of staying. There is a particular kind of strength
that reveals itself not in dramatic declarations, but in consistency, in the choice to remain.
when circumstances grow complicated. We have both lived long enough to understand how easily people can walk away.
When novelty fades, how quickly excitement can be mistaken for depth.
Yet here we are, years into adulthood, choosing each other not because it is effortless, but because it is meaningful. I think about the ordinary evenings when we sit side by side,
Each focused on separate tasks, you answering emails, me reading something half finished, silence stretching comfortably between us without tension.
and I realize how rare that comfort is. Love in our 30s is less about proving devotion and more about demonstrating reliability.
About answering the call, about showing up at family gatherings, about remembering small preferences and honoring them without being asked.
We have seen enough of life to know that permanence is never guaranteed.
Yet we lean into stability anyway, not from fear, but from intention. When challenges arise, as
approach them as a team rather than opponents.
Recognizing that unity requires humility.
That growth demands patience. There is romance in the steadiness.
In the way you reach for my hand in crowded places without hesitation. After difficult days, without needing a reminder, happiness here feels grounded, sustained by trust built slowly over time as we move forward through evolving responsibility. Before the sun rises, the desert holds a silence so complete it feels almost sacred. Dunes stretching endlessly beneath the sky, brushed in deep violet and fading indigo.
The air is cool and impossibly clear,
Carrying the faint scent of earth that has waited patiently through the long night. I stand on a ridge of sand, watching the first thin line of light appear at the horizon, delicate and unwavering. And I think about how love often begins the same way, quiet, almost unnoticed, yet destined to expand beyond doubt.
you walk toward me with measured steps, footprints forming brief patterns before the wind
Gently reshapes them, reminding me how
fragile and resilient moments can be at once. The sky shifts gradually from lavender to pale gold,
then to a brilliance that seems to set the entire landscape aflame without heat.
as sunlight spills over dunes, shadows retreat in graceful arcs, revealing textures hidden beneath darkness.
The vastness around us feels infinite, yet not lonely, because your presence anchors the horizon in something deeply human. We speak softly, our voices carried by open space, and I sense how clarity emerges when distractions fall away. The desert does not rush dawn, it receives it with calm acceptance. And I realize that connection thrives the same way, steadfast, patient, strengthened by stillness. As warmth settles into the sand and the day fully awakens, I understand that even in the most expansive solitude, love can create its own oasis, luminous.
Snow falls without urgency beyond tall arched windows. Each flake descending in patient silence before dissolving in a soft white layers along stone steps. Inside the old library, warmth lingers between towering shelves lined with stories, bound in faded leather and gold lettering. The air carries the scent of paper and time, hushed and reverent. And I sit at a wooden table where lamplight pulls gently over open pages. Outside the world is muted and blurred by winter's steady hand, but here everything feels defined and deliberate. You sit across from me, turning pages slowly, your expression illuminated by amber glow that softens every contour. Words are unnecessary in this space. The quiet itself becomes a shared language. Snow thickens beyond the glass, coating rooftops and branches in pale stillness. Yet inside there is warmth shaped not by heat alone, but by presence. The ticking of a distant clock marks time with calm certainty. Each second layered upon the next, like chapters in an unfolding narrative. I realize that love can resemble this winter refuge, steady, thoughtful, resilient against cold. It thrives not through spectacle, but through patience, through silent understanding that deepens with every passing page. And as evening approaches and lamplight grows warm against gathering dusk, I know that even beyond these walls, even beneath endless snowfall, the quiet strength between us will endure like stories preserved carefully through seasons. Five-mile highway at dusk. The highway stretches endlessly ahead. Silver lines cutting through the deepening dusk as the sky melts from amber into soft indigo.
Headlights flicker alive in steady procession,
And distant mountains fade into silhouettes against the horizon that refuses to disappear entirely inside the car. There is a warmth that contrasts the cooling air beyond the glass, a quiet intimacy shaped by motion and shared direction. Music hums gently from unseen speakers, blending with the rhythm of tires against asphalt. And the world outside transforms into a river passing light. You glance toward me with a half smile, illuminated by dashboard glow. Something freeing about traveling at dusk.
When day surrenders without resistance, and night rises without hurry.
The sky above seems vast and it's plain that
Holding on to the final streaks of color, like fading memories of sunlight. We talk about distant cities and uncertain plans,
about places neither of us has seen yet, both somehow recognize in imagination.
the road curves gently through darkening terrain, guiding us forward with quiet certainty. And I realize that love often mirrors this motion, steady, evolving, not always predictable, but anchored in trust. As darkness deepens and stars begin to puncture the sky one by one, I feel how even an endless highway can feel intimate.
when travel together.
And somewhere between fading light and first starlight, I understand that the journey itself is a promise, luminous and constant beneath the sky, that always changes yet remains boundless.
Before dawn, the harbor rests in deep blue silence, boats rocking gently against quiet tides, as though still half dreaming. The sky carries a muted glow along the horizon, a faint silver seam that hints at morning, without fully revealing its street lamps cast warm halos along wooden docks, their reflections trembling softly in dark water. And the world feels suspended between sleep and awakening. I stand near the edge where sea meets wood, breathing in the cool salt air that sharpens thought and steadies heartbeat. You join me with measured steps, your presence felt before spoken, and together we watch as the first hint of color begins to bloom across the sky. It starts subtly, barely visible blush threading through gray, then grows with quiet confidence, expanding until darkness retreats without protest. The boats seem to stir as light strengthens, ropes tightening gently with the rhythm of rising tide. And I sense how transformation often begins unseen, gathering strength in silence before stepping fully into view. We speak softly about nothing and everything, words drifting like mist above water. And I realize that this hour belongs to honesty more than display. The harbor gradually brightens, revealing textures once hidden in shadow. Wood grain painted hulls, ripples spreading outward, and I feel the same clarity forming within us. The sun finally lifts above distant mass and pours warmth across the open water. I understand that dawn is not only a daily return of light, but a reminder that patience yields brilliance. And standing beside you in that luminous awakening, I know that whatever tides may come or go, we have learned how to wait for. La da da da, la
Evening settles over the old stone bridge in hues of ember and copper. Autumn leaves drifting lazily through cooling air before gathering along the riverbank below. The water reflects fading sunlight in trembling bands of gold, and lanterns along the walkway begin to glow softly, bridging day and night in warm succession. I walk beside you across the worn stones. Footsteps echoing gently in the open space, and I think about how many stories this bridge has witnessed. Meetings, partings, promises carried across seasons. The sky deepens gradually into rose and violet, clouds dissolving into delicate streaks above distant rooftops. A breeze moves through bare branches, releasing the final leaves of the day in slow spirals. And I sense how transition carries its own beauty when embraced rather than resisted. You pause midway across the span, leaning against cool stone, your expression illuminated by land and light that feels both nostalgic and new. We speak of time not as something lost, but as something layered, each moment resting quietly upon the last. The river flows steadily beneath us, reflecting stars that begin to appear in scattered brilliance. And I realize that constancy does not require stillness, only direction. As darkness gathers more fully and the bridge becomes a glowing path suspended above water, I understand that connection like this crossing carries us forward even as seasons shift. And then beneath an autumn sky painted in quiet fire, I know that every step taken together becomes part of a larger journey, luminous and enduring, enduring beyond the fading of flame. Morning opens gently over a quiet garden where dew clings to petals like scattered pearls, and sunlight filters through tender green leaves in trembling ribbons of gold. The air feels newly washed, touched by the faint sweetness of blooming flowers and distant sea breeze. And I walk along a narrow stone path that curves softly between color and shadow. Every step releases a subtle fragrance into the cool light, as though the earth itself is exhaling after a long, patient winter. You wait beneath an arch of climbing blossoms, your silhouette framed in soft pink and ivory, and the scene feels almost suspended, like a painting unfinished, yet already complete.
sparks across a pale blue sky, their wings catching brightness before vanishing beyond treetops. And I sense how beginnings often look exactly like this, fragile, luminous, and full of promise without demand. We speak quietly, careful not to disturb the fragile harmony blooming around us. And laughter rises like petals caught in warm currents of air. The garden seems alive with quiet affirmation, every leaf trembling with subtle motion, every blossom opening toward warmth without hesitation. I realize that love too follows this rhythm, not forced, not hurried, but unfolding naturally when light and patience meet. As the sun climbs higher and color deepens around us, the path ahead feels less uncertain, less distant, standing there surrounded by living hues and gentle fragrance. I understand. The storm is past, leaving the coastline washed in silver calm, clouds parting slowly to reveal a sky still heavy with memory, but brightening with cautious hope. Waves continue their restless rhythm against dark rocks, yet the air feels clearer now, sharpened by rain and wind that have moved on without apology. At the edge of the cliff stands a solitary lighthouse, its beam cutting steadily through lingering mist, unwavering despite the night that tested it. Stand beside me watching sunlight thread through retreating clouds, illuminating patches of sea in sudden brilliance. And I realize how strength often reveals itself not in calm but in endurance. The lighthouse does not celebrate the storm's end, it simply remains, its purpose unchanged by chaos. I feel something similar within us, tested perhaps, but not diminished. The sky gradually shifts from gray to pale blue, light expanding across the horizon with quiet determination. Seabirds return to open air, their wings slicing through fresh wind, and the coastline begins to breathe again. We speak of what was shaken and what remains, steady words shaped by reflection rather than fear. The beam of light continues its patient sweep across water, a reminder that guidance persists even when visibility fades. As the last fragments of cloud dissolve into open sky, I understand that love is not the absence of storms, but the courage to stand firm through them. And beneath the brightening expanse above the sea, I know that like the lighthouse, what we share has weathered darkness and emerged luminous, stronger for having endured.
Heaven departure, platform at crack, souls in quiet anticipation. Morning light filtering through high glass ceilings and scattering across polished floors like fragments of something unfinished.
board, watching letters flicker and rearrange as if the future itself were being typed in real time. The sky outside the wide windows is pale and restless, clouds drifting with uncertain intention.
And I wonder how many stories begin in places like this,
Between arrivals and departures,
between holding on and letting go. You stand across from me with that familiar calm that feels bold. Anchor and horizon, your silhouette softened by distant sunlight breaking through the glass.
announcements murmur overhead, impatient repetition, voices neutral and steady, yet beneath their routine cadence, my heartbeat feels louder than any speaker.
There is a tension here that is not fear, but awareness, a realization the movement is inevitable, and that even love must sometimes trust distance to reveal its strength.